I don't know how how did that not register in my mind? Wait, was it Sin in the lane prediction? Did I just brain fart right there? It's gonna be the Matilda for the first time opened up in Season 8. ONIC Esports just instantly takes it away. Keyboy is phenomenal on this hero, and it is also a very good flex pick to be put onto the side of Drian. But remember this, RRQ Hoshi, with Sin coming into the roster, Sin might go to the jungle, and Albert might go to the gold lane. Hayabusa is gonna be picked up, and Psycho will pick up the Jawhead as well. And now we take a look at ONIC Esports a turn.
Yes, this is kind of scary because we've also never seen a Hayabusa being played right now. But okay, coming back to RRQ Hoshi's roster. So we have Sin, and we have Psycho. So there is quite a shift here in the lineup. So we're going to have to see if it works out or not. But obviously Sin is notoriously well, as I'm sensing from the hype coming from Mirko. But again, ONIC Esports has secured their second pick here, being a Saber, Mirko.
Second pick is the Saber to take it away from Clay, but I do want to mention this. I think Clay should venture on to play more heroes that he's used to, like Luo Yi back in Season 7. He is the best Luo Yi in... Oh my god, but Boots just takes up that Thamus. This was pretty disgusting on the hands of Anti-Mage earlier on today, and now it is going to be on the hands of Boots, a very underrated XP laner, but Nathan will be the pick for RRQ Hoshi. Now, I am confused, alright? Because Sin and Albert, not only can they flex their heroes, they can flex their roles, okay? They can just keep on changing their roles here. Who's in the jungle and who's in the gold lane? As we can see here, the XP lane head-to-head. It looks like Boots is just winning on every single statistic part right there, Arashi.
I think that also shows that how they might even have the same impact on the games they've been in, but Boots clearly has been more of a deciding factor compared to R7 in these different games. No fault to R7, but RRQ Hoshi is known to play around Albert, so that might be the reason for the discrepancy. Both of these explainers, as we mentioned earlier, are very well known, and their reputation precedes them. So I'm really looking forward to how that plays out, Eternal.
Yes, but we do have a respect ban here coming from the side of RRQ Hoshi with that Lilia ban. So we've seen Sans play this Lilia as a jungler, and it did really well for them. And so insta respect here coming from RRQ Hoshi. But what I'm curious to find out is who ONIC Esports will ban in the second phase, Mirko.
Yes, 100%. And Sans, how happy is he right now? He is forcing a Lilia ban from RRQ Hoshi here, and the Eudora ban comes through as well for ONIC Esports. This is the first Lilia ban we've ever seen since Season 6, I think. It's such a rare ban, and it's finally coming out against ONIC Esports here from RRQ Hoshi. So again, Achil knows what he's doing. He knows the limits that these heroes that he's picking needs to go to. And now, Nathan and Hayabusa, both of these picks are flex picks, so they are a little bit more flexible than ONIC Esports when it comes to the second phase of the draft. Nathan can go to the jungle, Hayabusa can go to the gold lane, or vice versa right there. So RRQ Hoshi with their final ban probably gonna ban another jungler, which is not the case. Cho will be the final ban coming in from RRQ Hoshi. Doesn't want to see Keyboy on that hero. We've seen how crazy Keyboy really is on that hero, so again, a very well-deserved ban right there. But from ONIC Esports right here, Rashi, what do you think they're gonna ban?
They might ban AoE, I would say. Again, I'm a sucker for card control and area of effect damage coming in from any team, because especially the current meta of dive, I really like that as a solution. So I always default to that. But it is AoE damage, not exactly utility, until late game obviously when he has the Ice Queens one. But the X-Brock being banned by ONIC Esports, narrowing down the potential picks from RRQ Hoshi. You mentioned again, it is very flexible from the side of RRQ Hoshi, but from the looks of it, there's gonna be, I think ONIC might just be a bit more aggressive in this early game, which is a bit surprising, don't you think, considering that RRQ is well known for being one of the most aggressive teams in the MPL right now, Eternal.
Yes, you're completely right. As we're going into the second phase of the ban and picks here, as RRQ Hoshi has the momentum to pick the first hero, but we still have yet to see maybe, but we don't know, because we don't know where this Nathan and this Hayabusa is going, but it will be that Beatrix pick.
Yeah. It's Beatrix gold lane. That's what I think is gonna happen, right? It's either the Nathan goes mid. Again, Nathan and Hayabusa is still flex, but Beatrix will 100% go to the gold lane. So Beatrix might be played by Sin or might be played by Albert. I personally, I would like to see Sin on this Hayabusa. So Albert is most probably going to go on this Beatrix. So ONIC Esports now, what will they respond to? What is their response towards that Beatrix pick from the side of RRQ Hoshi, picking 2 marksmen right here? So they have secured a very good late game, but in the early game, can they withstand the damage of a Saber? Because remember, this Beatrix is going against a Saber, guys. This is not a good matchup for a marksman, right? Yeah. He can one-shot you, and ONIC Esports for the final 2 picks, they are going to pick Lancelot up for Sans and Forza for Drian. No more testing, no more crazy, no more of anything, all right? We're going all out for this Royal Derby. ONIC Esports with their main heroes right here. Drian with the Farsa and the Lancelot picked up. RRQ Hoshi will pick up their final hero, which should be the XP laner. And honestly, against Tamis, I think a Lapu Lapu would be good here, or a Barrett as well. Just going to be able to get some pressure in the lane, and also some pick style, some pick rates and pick pressure here in the team fights, Arashi.
For sure, getting picks in this game right now will be a key defining factor. I think the Barrett's pick is kind of good because Barrett is quite strong in the lane. It is a counter to a lot of strong laners, and talking about very aggressive playstyles, you need, again, a winning lane to bank all these plays off, you know? So I think it's a great pick, but I think there's a lot of potential coming in from ONIC. So many assassins, so many early game pressure, but I'm concerned again about what they're going to do to secure their, I guess, secure a good engage, because I'm quite concerned about that for the most part, Mirko.
Same thing here, but Sin is actually playing the Nathan, so Albert is going to play the Hayabusa in the jungle, so they didn't switch their roles. Sin will still be the gold laner in this match, and for me, personally, I like crazy stuff, and I think if they do manage to make it work somehow, I think RRQ will be able to, if they are able to survive the early game and get to the late game, they will certainly win. So let's just get straight into the final match of the day. Are you guys ready for a Royal Derby? Put your predictions down below in the comments section, guys, because RRQ Hoshi and ONIC goes in. Now Psycho goes in with the flicker already in the ejector, and they're gonna damage coming from Clay. But look at that, Keyboy looking for a trade back, and it's gonna be already 2 recalls in the first 30 seconds of the game, Eternal.
Yes, RRQ Hoshi is managing to be able to take a little bit of momentum here in the early game, especially in the middle area here. But look at how much damage Keyboy and Drian are taking here from Clay and Psycho as well, Mirko.
Yeah, they have a lot of physical damage, I should say. Only 1 magical damage, which is Sin, that is playing in the gold lane. And actually, this Saber is in the mid lane. So again, Sin will have a pretty good time farming up in the top side, as RRQ will get the pressure in the mid side. With Drian backing away, they will also recall and get some health back. But both teams right now doing very, very good in the early game, playing the lanes pretty normally right here. You know, they're not doing anything too special. They're just waiting for the turtle, and they're going to contest later on. Both junglers have path towards this turtle, though, Rashi.
Obviously, with an early centric playstyle comes the contesting of the turtle. The first neutral objective coming in contested by both teams. Keyboy trying his best to actually be a nuisance here, and that base damage is disgusting. And Hasan is making the play, and it's the first blood picked up by Drian. The play still going on, Mirko.
Yeah, look at that. The purple buff has also been stolen. Now Sans goes in. Look at the damage coming in, but Clay flickers inside. Try to get the kill to Sans, but not going to be able to get that one right now. RRQ Hoshi are 600 gold behind, and the turtle will spawn in 10 seconds. So RRQ, with that 1 level lead that Sans has over Albert, they might not be able to contest this turtle anymore, Eternal.
Yes, it seems like RRQ Hoshi are rotating towards that area as the turtle has spawned, but it seems like no, they're not going for that turtle, Miracle. They're rotating towards the middle lane. It seems like they might not be contesting this turtle, as Sans is already in a position to do so. But I think RRQ7 is relaying some information, and there is some backup here coming from both Psycho and Clay, Miracle.
Oh, Phantom Execution being used to puncture as well, and the turtle will be slain by Sans right now. The ejector comes in to get away, but the flame shot also connects. Psycho will be the target, but that is an amazing zoning ultimate right there to get them out of here. But the triple sweep comes in, Clay's gonna retarget instantly, just burst it down, and Keyboy will pick up the kill. Psycho going in for more, but it's gonna be Circle Eagle to finish up Psycho in this moment. A double kill picked up from Keyboy. Death's Welcome being used, but Keyboy just uses the flicker to get away from that. 3-0, and the turtle for ONIC Esports. Not a favorable trade from the side of RRQ Hoshi so far, Eternal.
Yes, I mean, on the side of how this is going, it seems like ONIC Esports does have the upper edge at the stage. And like you said earlier, having a Beatrix going against that Saber, even though it wasn't in the gold lane, but it is in the mid lane, it's going to be really, really difficult. Especially, oh my god, look at that damage coming from both respective teams here, as Sans is going in so deep and so aggressive onto Xin. But Xin, okay, the flame shot does not connect, and he is able to get away with his life. But off camera, it seems like Saber is...
Oh wow.
I'm speechless, Miracle.
Yeah, he dodged every single skill shot there, but unfortunately you can't dodge the target ability. Farsa will be able to claim a kill right there. 3 people went top, so again, a lot of time being burnt from the side of ONIC Esports. They are making the proactive plays, and RRQ Hoshi, they just seem to... They're not getting anything on the map right now, and ONIC Esports are just going to push this turret and take the first turret in the 3rd minute right here. Already a 3,000 gold lead. Almost a 3,000 gold lead for the side of ONIC Esports in this moment. But Albert now goes in. Death's Welcome being used as well. Timeless will be the target right now. Psycho joins in the team fight. It will be the shadow kill coming in to finish him off, but Psycho is the one who gets the kill. There are a lot of kills on these tanks, guys. Psycho taking 1 and Keyboy taking 3 so far in this game, Arashi.
Right, clearly not an ideal situation, but considering that Keyboy on the Matilda is not exactly a full tank, we do mention how with the quick changes, there's a lot of base damage possible to be done from the hands of that Matilda, which is why it's actually such a contested pick. But here, takeoff being done by ONIC Esports.
Yeah, pickoff being done by ONIC Esports, but RRQ Hoshi responds very, very well to that triple sweep. They use a lot of abilities, 2 ultimates to be exact, for that pickoff on the tank. So again, tank for tank right now, both teams are looking to contest this turtle as Hayabusa is taking that orange buff. He will have a buff lead or buff edge here, as he does have a fighting or like an aggressive buff right now. Death's Welcome being used in the front, but the turtle will be slain by Albert. Going in for the team fight, Psycho goes in for the ejector, and that's going to be CW taken down. But Psycho gets the kill once again. The shadow kill now to join in the fight, but it will be Albert backing away, and ONIC Esports finds the cross map play in the bottom side to get that turret for the trade day turner.
Yes, ONIC Esports being able to secure objective over objective on towards RRQ, but like we said earlier, RRQ Hoshi just has a more late game or mid to late game composition, especially from the aggression coming from ONIC Esports. So we are expecting this, but what we want is to see if RRQ Hoshi can hold their end of the stick and can push this into the late game, because if ONIC Esports are playing the way that they have played and can continue to show their dominance, the problem is if they do snowball into the mid game, it might be really difficult for RRQ Hoshi to contest this match. Miracle.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword right now for ONIC Esports, because by clearing by getting the turret in the top side, they actually... Oh, wait a minute. R7 goes in with Death's Welcome. The Circle Eagle has been used to cancel that, but if another airstrike comes in, it's going to be R7 taken down. Now Psycho on the back foot trying to run away as RRQ Hoshi. No, the triple sweep comes in. Psycho gets taken down, and Sin trying to kite away. There is a lot of damage and a lot of lockdown for ONIC Esports. They cannot contest anything here in the early game. So all they need to do is farm and let the turrets be taken, because if they keep on contesting, it is just giving ONIC Esports more chance to snowball in this game so far. Albert trying to look for that orange buff, but Sans takes it away instantly right there with the retribution. Eterna.
That flame shot was so perfect onto Clay, and it seems like CW will take this point for ONIC Esports, and yet another objective taken here by ONIC Esports. And you're right, if RRQ Hoshi members just keep getting picked off like this will not look good for them at all, because they might have to lose this first game. But the items are up, Arashi.
Yep, classic Clock of Destiny, Lightning Traction combo coming in for CW. We saw the damage potential and the flame shot. Clearly having the range advantage in this situation is very beneficial, and CW knows it and is using it to its full potential. Hayabusa on the side of RRQ already with the War Axe. Fight is bringing on here though, Miracle.
Yeah, Phantom Execution being used to secure that turtle with the help of the Retribution. Just an amazing chain right there. Chain of damage, and Sans already 2-level lead onto Albert. This is not looking good for Albert and this team. I was about to say that getting the turret on the top side is kind of a double-edged sword. Sure, they get more map pressure, but Sin gets free farm all the time. But Sin hasn't been using that to... Oh my god, look at the damage coming in from CW. Using a Feather Airstrike and instantly burns Sin's Flicker in... Oh, that's just so much damage, and now ONIC Esports sitting at a 5,000 gold lead. It is going to be very hard for RRQ Hoshi to come back in this game, Eternal.
Yes, you're completely right. I mean, with the composition coming in from RRQ Hoshi, not only are they really squishy, they're also really lack that high ground pressure that is coming on from CW. So you can see from this matchup already 8 minutes in, the impact coming from CW is just extraordinary. As we see, there is some pressure here on the bottom lane. Oh, and it will be a mega kill on the side of Drian. And what great follow-up coming from the side of ONIC Esports, Mirko.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi getting picked off everywhere on the map. Again, ONIC Esports, they have very high mobility and very high burst damage, but oh my god, Albert just gets half of his HP chunked like that, and now they're gonna look for something here. But again, ONIC Esports has a lot of single target abilities that just destroy you like that. Certainly Eagle being used to Cycle right now, trying to do something, but Immortal will be caught just like that. Cycle will be the target, killing spree secured by CW as R7 is next on the chopping block. ONIC Esports gets another pick on the board, pushing their lead onto 7,000 right now and getting the top tier 2. A perfect game for ONIC Esports right now, not dropping a single turret here, Eternal.
Yes, you're completely right. The impact here coming from Keyboy is so exceptional, and the high ground pressure, in addition with CW, is just like the perfect combination to pressure RRQ from taking the momentum back. But look at that damage here coming from ONIC Esports. I mean, I guess ONIC Esports understands with their composition, they might not be able to scale as well as RRQ Hoshi towards the late game. So they're trying their best to zone RRQ Hoshi out, knowing that they might take a loss if they bring it towards the late game, Mirko.
Super fast tempo game. Yes, you're absolutely right, Eternal. Super fast tempo game here from the side of ONIC Esports, getting every single objective. Not even 10 minutes in the game, and they've gotten everything already right now. And Sans is 3 levels ahead of Albert right now. Not looking good at all, but there's a fight brewing on the top side. It's going to be Drian going in, but it's going to be a kill picked up, a shutdown for Sin. So Sin is basically the main carry right now, alright? They are going to put all their hopes onto Sin. R7 goes in for the Death's Welcome, but Keyboy will be able to use the Guiding Wind to get out of there. Now Psycho looking for an ejector. Unfortunately, Keyboy is just too slick with it, is able to just walk away from there. And now, let's take a look at the real-time win probability presented to you by Samsung Galaxy A series Rashi.
Yeah, 62% on the side of ONIC. Audience prediction quite clear, I guess. They do have the advantage, and they do have the Lord, and they are gonna most likely want to inhibit the tower at this in this situation as well. And if they can get that, as I mentioned that, the Keyboard getting engaged on, but he gets out. But yeah, they're gonna play for the tower, and if they can get that, that's gonna scale very well into the late game.
Yeah, R7 dodging away very nice now. Death's Welcome being used onto Boost, but it is just Boost. He's gonna flicker inside. Triple Sweep has been used. Psycho's gonna get taken down. Shadow Kill has been used as well. Sin is trying to cut away, but Boost has the vengeance. Now Sin is just doing so much damage on that back line, but unfortunately for RRQ Hoshi, ONIC just doesn't take damage. Boost was in the front for so long, using that vengeance to get away, but finally uses the backside. Albert's gonna be the target, but Albert forced the back away, and once again, 2 inhibitor turrets will be taken by ONIC Esports. Nothing that RRQ Hoshi can do at this point. All they need to do is try to defend, and a 10,000 gold lead does not look good for them right here, Eternal.
Yes, but like, look at that discipline coming in from ONIC Esports. Sure, they had the upper hand there during the base at RRQ Hoshi, but as soon as they saw it was time to retreat, they retreat, and no one gets picked off here by ONIC Esports. So this is something that we really need to highlight from ONIC Esports. They're playing really well, they're playing with objectives, and they're just so disciplined and well calculated. And this is, it's amazing to see, Mirko.
It is certainly amazing to see as we take a look at the items here, Rashi. What can you tell me about maybe Sin right there, as he has a Genius Wand?
So he is trying to shred the magic resistance off the side of ONIC Esports as much as possible, and I guess it's a good purchase because Keyboy, with those skills we've been mentioning, actually has an Antiquirus, and he is very tanky. Early on, we see him just dive in with no concern for his safety, and still was able to get out alive, and that is a huge problem. Big play here.
Yeah, R7, just a little dino right there, getting destroyed by the swordsman Lancelot, just using the Phantom Execution to finish him off. R7 didn't even get any stacks of the big guy here, and he is so small, so tanky. There's nothing they can do right now. They are on full defense mode. The third and final inhibitor turret will be taken down, and this might just be ONIC Esports taking game number 1 without anything. Now triple CPU, Psycho does not land the combo, and then again and again, Unstoppable being picked up by CW. RRQ trying their best to try to defend here. Sin is going to be the target. He's going to get taken down instantly, and Albert trying to clear the wave. R7 respawns from the base. Is the target is not going to be enough, but look at this. It is a kill traded. Deathness Welcome being used. Farsa will be the target as play goes into the backside. Dreon trying to burst play away, and the Feather Airstrike will finally finish off R7 with the help of Keyboy. And there is all she wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, ONIC Esports dominates RRQ Hoshi in the first game of the Royal Derby tournament.
Yes, and that was just an insta wipeout for the side of ONIC Esports, and I guess on the side of RRQ Hoshi, well played, but maybe they need to reconsider the draft. Maybe they got a little too greedy with the composition, but looking at the fans here from ONIC Esports, they looked so happy, so excited that ONIC won. But Arashi, walk us through what happened.
So in that particular late game fight, I think it's just really tough for RRQ to contest because ONIC has done everything right, have actually pushed tempo so far, and they actually are able to even the assassins on the side of ONIC are able to literally one-shot most of the hero hordes from the side of RRQ as well. So even if they're tanks on the side of RRQ, they really can't last, you know. So that was a really heavy situation for the side of RRQ. But it all began in the beginning when Sans was able to secure the turtle, and ONIC, with knowing that they're winning and they have the early game of composition and they don't scale as well into the late game, they just push the pace and go for most of the objectives as much as possible. And even when there are no objectives to be taken, they keep playing aggressive, they keep trying to get control, contest the lesser objectives, quote-unquote objectives, like the purple buff, like the jungle creeps from the side, the jungle minions in the side of RRQ's jungle. RRQ tried their best to be playing more objectively, but obviously it's a bit difficult considering they're up against such an aggressive team composition from ONIC. And what we saw was that Keyboy was able to do so much damage with just the base amount. The first item he bought was actually a necklace of Torrents, so which is an interesting pick, but I guess it gives you utility. It does give you a fair amount of damage, so that was a good choice from Keyboy. Afterwards, obviously, he went with the Antiquirus and was able to just go ham straight into the middle of all these team fights, being the key engaged person and still able to escape with his life, no problem. So then RRQ actually wins a turtle fight, but again, Boots, we mentioned that there will be an interesting matchup in the off lane, the XP lane, and Boots was able to push a tower. He is very dominant in that lane, partially due, I guess, to the maneuvers from the side of ONIC, but knowing that he is stronger, he does push the tempo, push the pace, and actually gets the tower in exchange for the other objectives being taken by RRQ on the other side of the map. And I think a big core issue in this game is the fact that they do have that range difference from Farsa. Clearly, Farsa has been a very deciding factor in this game before the fights even begin, able to chunk them out, especially since they are playing for tempo, not for the late game. Having a mage is good in a sense because you do have more playmaking potential with all these big spells, as well as these big bursts of damage coming in from that big base damage coming in from a mage. Here, if we look at the items, we can see that with the Lightning Truncheon and the Clock of Destiny combo, as always, already with the Holy Crystal third item, I believe, also a Divine Gleaf, just to make sure that no tank is really safe against this damage. It's not the damage you can just shrug off. And with the Truncheon, I guess for more survivability, just in case they recognize the need to focus down the Farsa and, you know, burst her down. But that never actually happened in this whole game. But again, with the Thamus, with that Vengeance, also with the Demon Hunter Sword, and obviously going up to Nathan with the Radiant Armor, the Brute Force Breastplate for more movement, more maneuverability, more chase, as well as the War Axe. Clearly such a huge issue to be dealt with from the side of RRQ. Very dominant laner indeed. Sans on that Lancelot as well, performing really well. Actually has a Windtalker doing more DPS as well as a healthy amount of burst with the Endless Battle and the Blade of Despair. So I mentioned earlier, Keyboy, after the Antiquirus, after the NOD, after the attack of the Rents, he goes for the Anti-Curse, being a really strong front line, and then the Oracle, just for good measure, for more shielding that works well with the kit. And unfortunately, on the side of RRQ, we can see items, not a lot of items completed. Most people are only on their third item, and ONIC understands that. That's why they push the tempo so hard. And here, we can see R7 does get the sandbag damage taken badge. So again, he was trying his best to be a frontline for his team, but obviously the damage is just a bit too much, especially since the damage is coming for the most part from the Farsa, right? It's actually doing so much damage from far away, and technically in a way skipping from the front line onto the back line directly from CW. And of course, the rich guy is Sans, being very efficient, knowing when to fight, still being a huge presence on the map while actually keeping his gold per second very high. And Keyboy as the Forgotten One, setting up all these plays and sometimes even securing the kills on his own when all else fails. So it's a very fast tempo play from ONIC Esports, and I guess my fellow casters I already mentioned earlier, maybe RRQ was a bit too greedy, picking 2 marksmen into going against such a aggressive team such as ONIC. So maybe they might revise that strategy, because obviously they do have some pick with the Jawhead, but it's not like there's a lack of a pick from the side of ONIC. And here is your MVP presented to you by Samsung Galaxy A series. It is CW on that Farsa with a 763 GPM and almost 70% kill participation, 7, 1, and 6. I think towards that mid game where ONIC has the momentum, has the initiative, this CW with Farsa was actually so active all over the place. And you can see that RRQ understood that there are things they can do to try and get back in the game, and they were still trying their best to try and find opportunities. But the positioning and I guess the read coming in from CW, always in the right place at the right time, knowing exactly when RRQ would maybe refuse to back down or try and defend objectives such as the tower. And once they overstay, they stay there for a bit too long, gets bursted down, and able to actually snipe that flame shot between multiple heroes and actually secure kills for his team. So I think that's a very well-deserved MVP, Mirko.
Yeah, very well-deserved MVP. He went from the gold lane and he actually had more impact than Sin in that game. By using the Feather Airstrike, he was able to zone both Clay and Sin so many times away from the lanes, actually burning Sin's flicker like, what, 2 or 3 times in the game right there. So again, this guy, huge props to him. He was one of the best gold laners as well back in Season 7. He was one of the only gold laners to be able to 1v1 Clover in that gold lane in Season 7. So this time around, it's great. It's really great to finally see him get some exposure and get some, getting noticed here by the MVP. He's gonna get the MVP for the first match, the first game of the Royal Derby here. And guys, what a performance by ONIC. That was just dominant, It's so dominant that Donnie actually had to text me. He had to text me something, but we'll talk about that later, Donnie, okay? Thank you for texting me, but what do you think about that game return?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think ONIC really hard stomped RRQ in that first game, but of course I feel like a lot of that impact was thanks to a weird draft. I'm sorry, but I really didn't like the draft. Coming from RRQ, I think they were too greedy. They focused too much on damage without thinking about frontlining utility. There was no CC, and I just really didn't like it. So going into the second game, I hope that RRQ will improve their draft for sure, because clean slate 2-0 from ONIC. I think that will be a really hard hit for RRQ, Mirko.
It certainly would. RRQ Hoshi started off Season 7 also in basically the same position where they lost. They won their first game and then they lost like 4 times in a row, alright? So they were in a lose streak in MPL Season 7 for the first few weeks, and then they got better. But this time around, I don't think they're looking to repeat what they did in Season 7. I think they want to dominate this league, and they want to win MPL Season 8 after all the roster changes, after getting back the veterans like Sin, Psycho, Liam coming back as well. I want to see the maximum potential for this composition, for this roster, because again, I agree with Eternal 100% there. I think a lot of the mistakes that happened in that game was due to the draft. It's just the Nathan pick was okay. I think the Nathan pick and the Hayabusa pick were okay, but then they picked the Beatrix into the Saber, which was very very sus, if I do say so. But if I do say so myself, all right. I don't really like the Beatrix pick. Technically, it is a good pick, but not against a lockdown hero, not against Lancelot, not against all that damage output coming in. There's so much dive in the front to the back line, so that you guys can't really play front to back with one solid tank right there. Again, Psycho I think was also underperforming heavily in that game. He missed so many flicker ejector combos there, and I just didn't feel it there. I think Psycho is a little bit rusty here because again, it was not him playing for the last week. It was actually Vin, so he still needs to get his gears grinding here. He needs to get it moving, because again, this is not a good look for RRQ Hoshi. You know, their names, the Kings of Kings. Getting slain here would be a very, very hard hit to the team's mental and overall, I guess, image around the community, because as we all know, they have like one of the biggest fan base here, Eternal.
Yes, biggest fan base behind EVOS Legends. I mean, they're quite equal there in that state. So, which is why going back into the draft, it's just you have 2 or 3 damage dealers. You have 2 marksmen, and taking that Lancelot going against that was just such a good play and pick by ONIC Esports, especially with that Pharsa. Well deserved there as well by CW, because that damage coming from that Pharsa just insta like almost more than half HP on that Beatrix, and she was unable to do much in that first game. But we're going straight into the gaming house here, having a look at the situation with ONIC Esports yet again, as we're going into the second game of the final match for today. But it seems like, again, ONIC Esports, they seem like they're chill again, like the first game. So let's see if they can keep what they did up and their performance up from the first game into the second game, and hopefully it will not be contested by RRQ to push into a third game, Mirko.
Absolutely, and RRQ Hoshi again with their bans. Harley and Fovia seem to be always their target here, but yeah, I think one of the main things that they overlooked as well in the first game was that Matilda, right? You need to ban that Matilda. Matilda is quite literally the perfect hero in Mobile Legends. You got utility, you got good base damage, you got good magical ratio as well on your items. So again, whether or not you choose to build tank or you choose to build full magic on that hero, it is just so good in terms of literally everything. She has good engage, she has good disengage, she has good shielding, she has good utility. It's just a complete hero right now, and that is why she has stayed at 100% ban rate for the entirety of Season 8 so far, except for that game. But that just shows how powerful she truly is. We saw Keyboy getting caught out a lot, but because he was Matilda, guiding win, baby. But yes, let's take a look at the draft right here. Expert will be the final ban from the side of ONIC Esports. So for RRQ Hoshi, what do you think would be a good first pick here for them, Arashi?
Your team.
Oh, okay. I figured there'll be an assassin, and I figured, yeah, it's probably an assassin just because they do have a strong emphasis on that, and it is the Hayabusa. I was thinking there might be other options, but obviously Hayabusa is a very strong meta pick right now. But I don't know what ONIC is going to pick in response to that. They might go for some kind of early game pressure. And Paquito is left open, and this is most likely going to go to Boots. That's a scary hero on a very scary player to boot. So this is not looking good for her.
Yes, Eterna.
Your team is picking.
Okay, and we have a second pick coming in here on the side of ONIC Esports, and that will be the Esmeralda band. So we have really 2 powerful heroes on the side of ONIC Esports, with Esmeralda being such a good dive-in hero with her magic damage and her ability to sustain. And we also have a Paquito, a really good pick-off as well. So this will be quite interesting coming into a Hayabusa on the side of RRQ Hoshi, but we're going to have to see what RRQ Hoshi will respond to in the next few picks, Mirko.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi with the Paquito being picked. It's so okay, I get it. Hayabusa is incredibly strong in this patch, but I think Paquito would be better in that situation, as it is a flex pick right there. It will be the Angela pickup and also the Ruby for R7, it seems. And ONIC Esports with the response will most probably pick up a tank for themselves. Popo and Koopa is left open for ONIC Esports, so if they do want to take it off, or maybe they might just go for the Cho, because Keyboy doesn't really like to play Popo and Koopa. He likes to play the engage heroes. He likes to play the pick heroes, like the flashy heroes, I should say, like Kaja, like Cho, and also like Jawhead. And right now, it will be the choice here. Will they pick the Saber once again for Drion, or the Roamer for Keyboy at this point? Or maybe they might just pick up the Lancelot once again here, Arashi.
I thought I would want to go for something like engagey, like an AoE engage, proper full dive cost. As I mentioned, there's a dive comp potential. So Cho, I thought Cho would, sorry, not Cho. I thought Kufra might be a potential pickup there, but it is the Saber. They're again going for this high, fast tempo gameplay here, and with the addition of Paquito to their roster, this is going to look even. I think there's going to be even more pressure on the side of RRQ. They do again have the Ruby to try and counter these, I guess, these dives coming in from the side of ONIC. But even Ruby requires a bit of time to scale into this hard to deal, sustain fighter tank that we're used to seeing. So from the bans though, I think they might really go and ban out. I get a feeling that there might be mage bans coming in this later stages of the game. So we'll see what they end up picking up.
We will see indeed. There will also be the ban right here, and ONIC Esports are most probably going to ban that Barrett as the final ban. Again, they do not want this Paquito to be limited by that Barrett in his own lane, alright? You want this Paquito to go as free as possible, and Popo and Koopa will be the ban for RRQ Hoshi. ONIC Esports will look towards this ban, but oh, look at that. Since first game in MPL Season 8, not too good here as we take a look at the statistics, Arashi.
Yes, but 60% kill participation isn't that bad. But considering how the game went, it's a bit redundant in a sense, right? But so the average KDA tells more of that story. Clearly, it wasn't a good game for RRQ. So unfortunately for Sin, that's how his stats look at the moment. But again, there's plenty of time for him to start racking out those kills and padding out that stat sheet. And ONIC here, betting out the Lunox and the Alice in that second phase, denying a lot of AoE damage coming from RRQ. We've mentioned how against a dive comp, sometimes burst AoE combo compositions can come out really strong, and I think ONIC is respecting that, taking away the Alice and the Lunox so far. But RRQ might ban. Okay, I was gonna say another engage because ONIC needs something to start the plays off, right? Again, we saw earlier that Esmeralda is able to actually be the engage, be the trigger that pulls the start of each team fight. But obviously it's not ideal, and I think ONIC are actually looking for something a bit more guaranteed, Mirko.
Yes, a little bit more guaranteed indeed. Right now, ONIC Esports with their first pick of the second phase of the draft here, Eterna.
Yes, I think I'm leaning towards a jungler here, as ONIC Esports still has not secured that position unless we see Saber as the jungler, but we don't really know again. But it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it is within the ONIC Esports character. As okay, Kufra has been secured on the side of ONIC Esports. So yes, something that Arashi mentioned earlier. With a proper initiate coming in from Kufra, with the bonus of Starfall here coming from Esmeralda, will be really good as a combo wombo here from the side of ONIC Esports. But RRQ Hoshi, I wonder who will they secure next as their two last picks, Mirko?
I think it's Barrett. It's Barrett and maybe... depends if they want to go for a mid laner or if they want to go for another jungler, because this Hayabusa can flex mid, so RRQ Hoshi has some room to work with here. If they Barret's, I think is a no-brainer, just counter that Paquito 100%. But the last pick is something definitely. If they do want a mage to do extra magic damage, it would be good. It would be it's a Beatrix again, and it will be the Chang'e as well. Again, this can go either way. Beatrix can go to the mid lane, Chang'e can go to the gold lane, or vice versa. Same thing with Hayabusa, right? This Beatrix technically can go to the jungle, it's just not really efficient right now, so I'm counting that out for now. RRQ Hoshi with this draft, once again, they are lacking a tank, they are lacking a frontliner, they are not going to be able to sustain that much with this Ruby, and unfortunately, I don't really like their draft coming into the second game, Arashi.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a mixed situation coming in where some people want to dive in, some people don't. So they have a chance that they make the fight kind of messy, but the thing is, against a team like ONIC, you know for sure they know exactly if being messy in their team fights is gonna result in a loss. So there's no way they're gonna let that slide that easily. I was thinking that some of them might, pick a long range, long range kind of mage for the last pick, but it is the Chang'e, so more damage per second, more AoE damage overall, I believe. But I think there was some value in picking up maybe a long range burst playmaking
With the RRQ Hoshi composition
situation. But obviously those are the picks and bans. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of the Farsa.
Yes, I do like ONIC Esports a better Miracle.
But with the picks and bans, what do you guys think? I think I prefer Onyx draft so far, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, same thing here. I prefer ONIC. I think it's going to be a 2-0 game, but we'll have to wait on Eterna's option right there on her decision, because we are going to get straight into the second game. Tell us what you think in the comment section down below. Hashtag vivarrq or hashtag ONIC win. Vote for your teams and show your support down in the comments down below here. And as we are getting onto that point, Eterna, I do want to ask you for the composition. It is 2-0 for ONIC right now. Me and Arashi, what about you?
I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. Again, I really like the composition coming in from ONIC Esports. I just think it's more whole. I think it's more balanced, especially with everything going on right now with the RRQ Hoshi composition. I'm not sure what they're trying to go for, and I guess they're still really, really into the Beatrix pick. But yes, I do like ONIC Esports a better Miracle.
Yeah, this time around, Albert will be able to secure all of his buffs without an invade from ONIC Esports. Again, RRQ Hoshi not playing as aggressive as the last game. Going in for a crazy trade in the early game. Psycho flickered in the first game, but this time around, Psycho and Angela playing a little bit more passive, just getting some XP for his mid laner right here, as Drian has been incredibly effective on that Saber in that previous game. So coming into this game, it is very, very scary, guys. Not gonna lie, it's very, very scary. But Sin will be on this Chang'e. I don't know about that, because Chang'e not really a high mechanical hero, so it's kind of a waste to put that kind of hero on someone like Sin. But now the Tanner bench will be able to connect onto R7. Psycho is right there to help him cut the wave, though. So it is no harm done whatsoever for the side of RRQ Hoshi. But ONIC Esports really looking for a dive on the top side towards Sin. That Sonata has been used right now, but it's not gonna miss. It's actually gonna miss everything, and Sin tries to outplay, but again, with the Chang'e pick, right, you are basically useless until you hit level 4, especially against a Paquito. You're just going to get out-traded every single time, and that is exactly what happened there in the top side, Eterna.
Yes, you're completely right. I mean, being a Chang'e going against Paquito, there's so much pressure coming on from Paquito, and as we know, Chang'e, without level 4, without her Meteor Shower, she barely does and has any impact. But here we see both teams are already rotating towards that turtle. So much damage output coming in from Clay, and Keyboy gets super low, but of course will be secured. But oh my god, Jirian going and getting so low, and it's another kill getting secured here by Clay. Oh my god, that was a weird trade at Turtle Miracle.
Yeah, it was very good retribution as well from Albert, as Sin comes in to use that Meteor Shower to clear the wave in the mid lane again. This is RRQ Hoshi at least showing up to the fight here. I thought that was going to be a very bad play from RRQ Hoshi, because again, ONIC were marching down there on the turtle side, but RRQ managed to get the turtle. Again, Albert, one of the best retribution players here in MPL, so that was just well played. But Tyler's Revenge now comes in onto R7, a lot of damage. The barrage coming in to Keyboy. He's going to get taken down instantly right there. Rion is next on the chopping block, but he's going to do the combo. The falling Star Moon lands onto 3 members. A double kill picked up for RRQ, but instantly responded there by the side of ONIC Esports. Now Albert versus Sans. Sans has no buff. Doesn't have an orange buff right now, so Albert technically can win this 1v1, but he decides to move backwards. It will be an equal trade at the end of the day, guys. Okay, but right now, Albert, again, able to get that gold buff, and look at that, so fast right there, dealing damage to CW as Sin will use the Meteor Shower once again to clear the wave and get himself a huge chunk of gold, Eterna.
Yes, you're completely right. As we're going into minute number 4, and it seems like there is a slight gold gap, although not quite significant, favoring the side of ONIC Esports. But RRQ seems to be playing this quite well as well, quite disciplined, and they're being very, very careful as ONIC cannot really seem to be getting the lead that they could in game number 1, probably because they have Granger as their jungler, and as we know, Granger, although is a really good... Oh, but here we see there is Meteor Shower coming out here to the side of CW, but CW doesn't take much damage, and it seems like ONIC Esports will be putting a lot of pressure in the top lane and will be able to secure this first objective, Mirko.
Yeah, the first turret will fall to the hands of ONIC Esports, but RRQ Hoshi instantly responding by getting this turtle, starting it up. But now, ONIC Esports do have pressure in the top side. Paquito can rotate faster, but now R7 goes in onto Keyboy, very, very low right there. But the meteor shower comes in, he has to back away, and that's going to be a free turtle from the side of RRQ Hoshi. So contesting and trading objectives is the name of the game, but ONIC Esports, these scaling heroes in the side lanes are just getting so much value out of the turret gold, and it's just going to be very hard for RRQ Hoshi right now because ONIC Esports, if we do go to the late game, technically, I mean, it's quite fair. But yes, let's take a look at the items right here, Rashi.
CW has a Bloodlust Axe already, big damage, and obviously he is a lane that his team is maneuvering around, using him as like a, you know, the strong lane to bank off plays off. On the other hand, Boots already with the Enchanted Talisman, might just break out there, but nope, both teams falling back, maybe understanding that there is no objective on the map as of thus far. Rrq already picked up by Albert, so clearly big damage potential coming in from him, and the Has Claws obviously making it harder for R7 to get bursted down in these fights, especially if they actually drag into the longer durations. But we see Sin with an Enchanted Talisman as well. I think the plan was to use Sin as wave clear to deny the tower being taken, but very smartly ONIC realizes that and denies and zones away Sin from the tower in order to get it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, again, R7 just playing the weak side right there. Now Albert going to do the same thing here, but unfortunately does not have the shadow kill to finish him off. It will just be a tier 2 turret traded for a tier 1 turret. Not a worth it trade for the side of ONIC Esports. And again, this is the power of Drian Saber, alright? He can just lock down any hero, and that is the one-shot capabilities of that hero. R7 taken down, and this is certainly not looking good. ONIC Esports with a 1,000 gold lead right now, a turn.
Yes, 1,000, almost 2,000 here, Mirko. It is certainly not looking good for the side of RRQ Hoshi right now, as it seems like ONIC Esports has their eyes on the... Oh my god, Mirko!
Yeah, look at that. Boots actually gonna... CW gonna get taken down right there, and that's gonna be a kill pickup for the side of RRQ Hoshi. So a little bit of overcommitment right there from ONIC. But again, it is still them with a 1,000 gold lead. RRQ Hoshi will look to nullify that gold lead right now as they're taking the first turtle, Eterna.
Yes, they will be taking this turtle here. Yes, this third turtle. And it seems like although ONIC Esports had the upper hand, but they managed to kind of turn tides around, and they're showing some promise here on the side of RRQ Esports as they're looking towards taking this first third tier turret, rather, in the middle lane, Mirko.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The bouncing ball has been used. Now CW goes in with a knockout strike. Unfortunately, does not land onto anyone. And it looks like ONIC will be able to get back pressure here in the mid lane after losing their Paquito right there. Albert, again, trying to get this, but again, the meteor shower zone stands away. It will be Albert picking up that orange buff without any problem whatsoever, as Rian will shove this mid wave in right here, Rashi.
Yep, clearly ONIC still wins as far as lane pressure goes, but here Drian is getting engaged on. It might be a mistake here. He walks back into the ultimate from Clay, taking out Drian there, but in exchange, ONIC does pick up a tower for the troubles. But that was a bit of a weird play. I wonder what was going on.
Yeah, I think Drian wanted to get his ultimate off, but unfortunately there was a Beatrix following him, and now CW goes into a lot of damage onto Psycho, but he's going to be rooted in place right there as Keyboy goes in for the Tyrant's Revenge. Unfortunately, does not connect onto anyone, and Sans again. They are trading kills for objectives, alright? Even though ONIC Esports, even though RRQ are climbing in terms of kills, ONIC have the map control. 2 tier 2 turrets in the bottom and in the top side has been taken away right now, Eterna. And as you can see from the real-time win probability, it heavily favors ONIC Esports right now.
Yes, I mean, it could be towards the draft, like we also predicted. We didn't really like the drafts coming on from RRQ, and it seems like the real-time win probability reflects just that. But okay, Albert getting a little cocky here to the side of Keyboy, but of course Keyboy, with his bouncing ball, has the ability to maneuver around it, and it seems like both teams are just trying to position and trying to figure out how to engage in a proper manner, because they know if they do lose this, they might lose their momentum.
Yeah, certainly they might lose their momentum, so both teams looking for mid lane pressure right now as they go towards the turtle, but again, the Lord will spawn, so that is the 4th turtle denied from both teams, but Boot's going to be the target right now. The meteor shower connects entirely, and that is going to be a lot of health taken away. Now Sin is going to be the target. Sans comes in with the Rhapsody. Sin is instantly taken down, and look at that, Psycho, the triple sweep, and look at that as well. CW gets a knockout strike onto 2 members, R7 and Albert still able to survive, but that is going to be a 2-for-0 trade. R7 looking for more right here as he still has the I'm Offended. No, he doesn't actually. So, oh no, Tara's Revenge hits onto R7. No follow-up just yet, as Keyboy might be the target as the play and friends here doing so much to Keyboy. Still able to run away for now, but Shadow Kill finally finishes them all. And CW trying to defend. It is still ONIC Esports going in and taking the Lord. A kill traded for a Lord. Another objective traded for a kill. RRQ Hoshi just not able to produce results with these plays right here at turn.
Yes, you're completely right. Keyboy did so much for ONIC just now. He bought so much time for them to secure that first Lord. So my question is, what is going on with RRQ Hoshi right now? I mean, I thought they were really dominant, especially in their first match of the season, but is it the roster change that is different, or is it the draft again like we were talking about earlier? Harashi, please enlighten me.
I think it goes back to the draft here. I'm pretty sure the audience is quite tired of listening to this, but the RRQ Hoshi doesn't have a reliable crowd control to start fights. Meanwhile, if you notice from the side of ONIC, every time there's a chance, every time someone's out of position, every time you see someone just, you know, an opportunity, a chance, you just see Keyboy just jump on it like there's no tomorrow. So that is a big difference, having a proper reliable engage, and because of that, you can even see the members of RRQ Hoshi gravitating towards the tower, fearing getting picked off. Here, yeah, plays opening miracle.
Yeah, again, I would agree 100% with that. They don't have a reliable engage. They don't even have CC, to be fair. The only CC that they have comes from Angela's second ability and R7's I'm Offended. And also, obviously, his stun. But that is definitely not enough compared to ONIC Esports, which has a lot, alright? The Falling Star Moon, to combine with the Tyrant's Revenge, Tyrant's Rage, and also the Bouncing Ball, and also CW with a knockout strike. The triple sweep as well. There's just so much CC from the side of ONIC Esports and no CC whatsoever from the side of RRQ Hoshi. What they need to do is just completely burst enemies down, and going on to Keyboy's moving target right now is there's going to be a lot of damage put onto him. He's going to be killed just like that, but Albert looking for more. This is what they wanted to do right here. It will be a kill traded back out. Albert gets slain right there, but CW will be traded as well. Oh, he still managed to get away, but look at that. Sin finishes him off in the last second. Clay now trying to deal damage in the backside, but Drian is looking for something. He's looking for a kill as R7 is still able to buy enough time and sustain with his healing and his lifesteal. 8 to 9, ONIC Esports are on the back foot right now as R7 gets the hard guard and is pushing forward a turn.
Yes, that was a 1-2 trade there in the previous team fight, and it seems like RRQ are trying to use this momentum to get an objective as they can, as they're headed towards that third tier turret in the middle side. But oh my god, there is Falling Star Moon that connects. I'm Offended as well as Suns gets super low here in this situation. Drian trying to get a knock-up strike, and of course R7 is the target. Meteor Shower getting so much damage onto the back and front line, and Mirko.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with all that damage, again, they don't have any resources to lock their opponents down other than the first I'm Offended. If you don't get the kill after that first I'm Offended play, you're just not going to get a kill, because again, ONIC Esports, not only are they good at engages, that they have CC, but they are also very, very mobile here. Those heroes have a very, very high mobility here, Arashi. But let's take a look at the items. Tell me what's going on with the 2,000 gold lead that ONIC has.
One thing I find interesting is that there's no healing reduction yet coming in from the side of ONIC. So I guess in this situation, Ruby isn't really an issue thus far. But on the other hand, we see that Sin has already built a Ice Queen's 1, so that gives some kind of slow, some more utility for them to work with. But again, I don't think it's gonna be enough, especially against the roster of ONIC right now. On the other hand, Albert already having the War Axe, the Endless Battle, and the Nothing for big damage, Mirko.
Yeah, big damage indeed. The shadow kill comes in, and Albert is actually able to outplay that situation. Sin gets a double kill. Albert gets slain, and now CW is going to get a knockout strike onto 4 members. Unfortunately, he will still fall down as Clay will pick up the kill right there. No, R7 gets the kill, and this might be the turning point for RRQ Hoshi. Even though they don't have CC, they managed to bait out the resources, and in the end, managed to get the kill. And now Meteor Shower comes in onto Boots. A lot of damage has been placed, and that's going to be the oh my god, the next endurance damage coming in, and Sans will be able to back away with the help of that Sonata and his dash ability. The Lord has spawned, but again, they do not have their jungler, so this is a very, very risky play if they do decide to contest this Lord. Yep, they're just gonna back away. Not much they can do there, so back away, look for a kill again before they try to get this Lord return.
Yes, I mean, this real-time win probability is continuously shifting towards the side of ONIC Esports, but I'd like to highlight that damage coming in from Zin. That I'm offended going into the Meteor Shower did create a lot of space, especially for RRQ Hoshi, and ONIC Esports was not able to complete or win that favorable trade, as it seems like Lord will be up, and both teams seem to be rotating as well to that area, Miracle.
Absolutely, and Sin, this is what they wanted from the Chang'e. Just absolutely amazing wave clear. But again, if you only get this Chang'e for the wave clear, he doesn't have the side lane pressure that you need from the meta right now. You know, it's a lot about the side lanes nowadays, and if you can't contest or match that Esmeralda, he's just always gonna get pressure right there, and he's always gonna win in the team fights because they'll always have the man advantage. And now Albert caught in the sandwich right there. Drian might just go in on him, but he's able to run away with help of hard guard. Now R7 is gonna be caught outside of there. Keyboy trying to deal damage, but look at that. The shadow kill comes onto Sans. Gets taken to half HP as Albert goes down. There's gonna be a kill. Oh no! Almost got for Clay! Oh my god! He just deals so much damage right there. He bought so much time. I mean, Albert bought so much time for Clay to pop off in that team fight, and look at the Meteor Shower coming in to deal a lot of damage and to zone the players of ONIC Esports, canceling some of the recalls right now. This is the time for RRQ Hoshi to push the waves and go back and start this Lord, because if they don't get this Lord now, they will not get it in the future. ONIC Esports will understand the gameplay and will not make the same mistakes. I think Esmeralda should have just stayed in that top side getting the inhibitor turret, because being in that team fight didn't mean a lot right there for Boots Eternity.
Yes, you're completely right. I mean, going into the 15-minute, almost a 16-minute, we can expect that the damage output coming in from Clay and Zin will exceed tenfold. So ONIC Esports really need to be careful with their positioning as well if they want to take team fights, make sure it isn't around the jungle, because as we know, Meteor Shower works so well when everyone is stuck in a corridor. So this is going to be something that ONIC Esports really also needs to put into consideration, as this Lord has already been hoped down by RRQ, but it seems like there are no real commitments from both sides. Oh, but Tyrant's Revenge connects. Miracle.
Yeah, Tyrant's Revenge connects, and that's not going to be enough damage for anyone. Meteor Shower does not connect onto anyone. They're not going to be able to get this, and the Enhanced Lord will fall in the hands of ONIC Esports. That's what I said. If they weren't able to get the Lord when they won that initial team fight, now ONIC Esports, knowing that all they need to do is get a pick off their front line, they did it, and instantly RRQ have no response to that. R7 is their one and only frontliner. That is why I really don't like this team composition. They don't have any tanky or sustainable players except for R7 that is on this Ruby. As now we take a look at the items before the Lord marches down the base, Arashi.
Right, as you mentioned, this even though R7 is the only frontline available with another Cuirass and the Dominance Ice, so once R7 is down, they are forced to retreat, because again, there's a difference in the potential engage from both teams. And now, knowing that they are winning, they don't really want to go for those team fights where RRQ can get to use their AoE potential for combos, like we saw earlier where they won a team fight. So ONIC Esports here trying to split the map as much as possible, and the Griffin against this.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Boots is gonna get taken down. It's actually RRQ Hoshi coming up on top right here in the team fight. Albert going in onto Drea. There's gonna be a kill picked up as well. Drea's gonna get slain, but the triple sweep will come out first as Albert will be taken down as well. Keyboard's gonna be next on the chopping block as he gets taken down instantly as well. It is gonna be a 4-for-1 trade for the side of RRQ Hoshi, even though it seemed like it was just going to be ONIC Esports taking the objectives. RRQ Hoshi are pushing into the base and getting the objectives that they needed. 4-for-1. They might just look for the end here. 20 seconds are on the clock. Sans is the only one defending, and the meteor shower comes in. Sans is gonna get bursted down. This is the end. No way. Psycho. Everyone's coming in. They're gonna have to take this base, and there's gonna be a lot of wave clear coming in from Clay. 10 seconds onto Boots. Will they be able to clear the waves as fast as possible right now? It is one more cannon minion. Boots is trying to respawn, but it will be RRQ Hoshi taking the game. What a comeback. What? My God, RRQ Hoshi with all the odds stacked against them with the gold lead, 7,000 to the side of ONIC Esports. RRQ make one big play and turn it around. Very reminiscent to how they took Geek Fam down in that first meeting. Wow, what? I am so speechless right now. Eterna, do you have any words?
I think that was so unfortunate there on the side of Esmeralda. I think she initiated way too fast, knowing the damage output coming in from RRQ, and that small miscalculation, that small blunder cost them that game when they should have won to begin with. So that was crazy from RRQ, and very unfortunate for ONIC. But Arashi, walk us through that game.
I think it all started with the Paquito pick on CW actually, against our expectations, going against the Chang'e. Obviously, it's a very strong lane against what you can refer to as a weak lane. So Chang'e ends up being left high and dry quite literally. Whenever they're actually making plays with that strong side, Chang'e was the one who takes the brunt of the plays made by ONIC in that game. And with that advantage, they tried to switch up the lanes even in the mid lane, in the mid game, to try and maybe save the Chang'e a bit. But that was a really difficult spot for Chang'e to be in. And then ONIC takes a bad fight, but then the team, we saw Keyboy being super aggressive, and one of those times he actually engages, but they're not able to secure the kills immediately. And so the team actually looks like they were gonna get overrun, but then we saw that Boots came in with Esmeralda and actually secures it for his team. So ONIC playing a lot more coordinated in a sense. They're really aware of where their friends are and when they have to actually make moves, move as fast as possible. And then we saw that it seems like the plan from RRQ is to use Sin to clear on the Chang'e to clear the waves so that they can't take the tower. But ONIC, once they understood that, after maybe trial and error, after a couple of times, they probably noticed a pattern, and they zoned Sin away from the tower completely and took some damage in the process. But in exchange, got the tower no problem. So that was a very cool, I guess, smart adaptive play coming in from the side of ONIC. So the issue becomes that once the game slows down a bit in the mid game, ONIC just has a better dives. They have a tank and CC in Keyboy on the Kufa, so they're able to actually force plays and actually dive towards multiple times. Meanwhile, RRQ was just struggling to have the same kind of success, even though they send multiple members towards a lane. So they just lack the crowd control and the tanks to tank the tower damage in the first place. So overall, ONIC, even though there's some back and forth, still winning in the pressure. But somewhere in the middle, RRQ, I guess they start getting fearful of these engages from ONIC, these catches. So they start gravitating towards the turrets, and that reveals them on the map. And at one point, we even saw Sans from the side of ONIC actually daring to just walk up to a lane and start hitting the tower, like the second tower from the side of RRQ, just because there's so much pressure in the lane and everyone's just visible because they're sticking around in these towers where the wave of ONIC is actually giving them all this vision. So as far as item goes, again, RRQ Hoshi was on the back foot the whole time. Obviously, there's a lot of damage potential coming in from the Beatrix with the BOD, with the Malefic Roar, and even getting a Brute Force Breastplate just for more mobility and more safety, right? Because there's huge aggression coming in from ONIC Esports. Knowing that there's lack of CC, both the mages, Sin and Psycho, on the side of RRQ Hoshi do opt to get the Ice Queen's wand, trying to get more slow as much as possible. They need all the crowd control they can get. And as you mentioned, R7 is the only real front line they have, and he does build slightly aggressively, I would say, with 3 damage items, the House Claws, the Endless Battle, and the War Axe, but also having the Anti-Cuirass and Dominance Ice to deny the shielding coming in from the side of ONIC Esports. And overall, in that game, there's still a lot more pressure coming in from the side of ONIC, especially because Boots, also with the Radiant Armor, they can really stay in the front, not really concerned about what damage he's taking, and we can see him along with Keyboy just technically bullying RRQ Hoshi away from the key positions, wrestling away the control of the map from RRQ Hoshi as much as possible. But obviously, once the game gets to that late game, we saw the damage potential showing up. Sin, although on the chunk being very weak in the early game, once he's got the items, especially with the double penetration coming from the Genius Wand and the Divine Glaive, as well as the Holy Crystal for a good measure, there really is a lot of damage. And I think in a way, ONIC failed to respect that in time. Clearly, after several times, they learn from their mistake. But initially, I think once the Chang'e has enough damage, there was a period of time where ONIC really wasn't sure, in a sense. And I see them take a huge amount of damage coming in from the Chang'e of Sin. Obviously, on the side of ONIC, there is CW on that Paquito being huge damage dealer for any species, but also being a very reliable frontline. And as you can see, the rich guy in this game is still Sans, again, with the great presence of mind to continue farming, while also having a great presence in the game whenever he was necessary for these fights and the objectives, as well as getting a couple of cheeky steals with the Death Sonata. Actually, stealing Little Wonder once, I can remember, as well as attempting to steal a lot of these buffs from the side of RRQ. So a lot of pressure coming in from Sans, even in those early game team fights, being a early to mid game marksman, Sans on the Granger, able to actually do a lot of good work. And here the MVP is actually Sin. You know what they say, investing in the late game, right? Suffer first, and then once your investment returns, you just get full dividends for the suffering you went through. 62% kill participation, 5-2 and 5. Clearly didn't have the most fun, the most enjoyable early game, but as we can see, pays off in the end. But yeah, towards the end, I think ONIC made a very questionable play though. I see that they went for this weird dive almost, down deep into the base of RRQ, and they got punished severely for it. But once they lose the control in that situation, RRQ realizes that they have some momentum going on. They have death timers that are still ticking down, so they just push all the way, and some way through the middle while chasing them back to their own base. They're still able to, again, knowing that there are members down from the side of ONIC, they just went full on for the dives. And once the death timers are just sporadic like that, is in that late game, that's just fatal for the side of ONIC. And so well played RRQ, understanding that they do have a chance and having the presence of mind to actually go for the end in that tense situation.
Yeah, oh wow, what a play by RRQ Hoshi, and a well-deserved MVP for Sin. That was just a crazy game, honestly. We all didn't like the draft. We thought that was going to be. Technically it can work, all right. Any draft can work, but ONIC just had such a good draft in that game. They had good engage, they had good CC, they had good pushing as well. They had range. It was just a very complete composition from the side of ONIC. Whereas RRQ Hoshi, they had to rely on the late game. They had to rely on when their carries had items, and unfortunately for them, it wasn't just because of that, okay, but Boots made a fatal play right there, right? He went in with the Esmeralda in the final play, using the falling star move to the backside. Although he did get 2 members, it is definitely not worth it because the whole team came with him, and in the end, it is 3 members picked off, 4 members in the end right there. Sans, the only one left to defend the base, and obviously, you can't really defend the base from a siege against a Chang'e and Beatrix alone, all right? The amount of high ground pressure that they have, the amount of wave clear that they have is just insane, especially with Beatrix that can use 2 ultimates, all right?
Yeah.
So again, it is just a crazy game from the side of RRQ Hoshi, but maybe oh my god, I'm quite literally speechless from that game, right? I don't know what to say. That was a very great performance from both teams. ONIC played it very well from the beginning up to the very end, and that just goes to show you can't make any mistakes here in the MPL. One little mistake can cost you the game, and this is going to be a 1-1. I expected a 2-0. I think all of you did too. After the Lord was marching down the base with 2 inhibitor turrets down, I thought that was the end for RRQ, but no, the Kings of Kings, they find a way to make an entrance again. What a play by RRQ Hoshi, and what a play by ONIC Esports. We will see in the Royal Derby 2-1 to who, all right? Put your votes in the comment section down below. RRQ Hoshi or ONIC in the third and final game right here, Eternal.
Yes, we're going straight into the gaming house. As okay, we're not going to look at ONIC this time, but we're going to have a look at the conditions of RRQ Hoshi as they won that second game. It was really, really close to a loss, honestly, but honestly there were so many blunders coming in from ONIC Esports towards the end, and unfortunately they did not respect the damage coming from RRQ Hoshi. And okay, they seem like they're having a jolly time, they seem like they're discussing, so it's looking quite good mentally from the side of RRQ Hoshi. Mirko.
Yes, I think both teams are very, very calm, but look at that, the confidence on Achil's face right there. He knows that his draft works, alright, so he proved everyone wrong right there. And ONIC Esports with their first ban again, banning out the Ling. RRQ Hoshi learning from that first game will ban away the Matilda, and there you go. Look at Achil, man. He's so happy. He's like, come on, guys, trust me here, alright? I give you the draft, all you need to do is play it as we do it in the scrims, alright? Just chill. And ONIC Esports now, with their second ban, will probably ban out that Hayabusa, as that is just such a nuisance for the side of RRQ Hoshi, for the side of for them, all right? Because okay, Hayabusa, even though you can say that he does basically like very, very low damage when we get into the mid game, when we get into the team fights, because of that because it's getting split amongst 5 players. It's not about the damage that he does, but it's about his mobility and his survivability in team fights that makes him so annoying. You can use all your abilities on him, he just has to press one ability and he's gone, right? So extremely annoying hero, I would say, and that's why a lot of teams have been banning that hero away from everyone. You know, that is one of the top priority bans as well. But ONIC Esports once again will ban away the Ruby from R7 after seeing what he can do in that second game. And now RRQ Hoshi with the Harley ban coming in as well. They will not, they don't want to test their chances against ONIC Esports. So right now, ONIC and RRQ, what do you think are they gonna look to secure here in the first phase or the first pick Arashi?
I usually would say engage, crowd control, but we have seen that RRQ Hoshi are not always going for the early game composition, right? So there might be a bit of difference here. I think with both the first and second game having an MVP that are mages, there might just be a bit more emphasis on banning these mages with this huge AoE potential coming in from both teams, I think. But right now, I think it might be a standard top tier ban. It is the Potato for the side of ONIC Esports, making sure that, you know, that doesn't go into the wrong hands, obviously. And RRQ here, there's still plenty of strong picks right here. They do play the Hayabusa, so I don't think they will ban it. But yeah, there's so much right now, and it will really depend on what they plan to do. And I question whether or not they're gonna do the same draft, considering that game was very close to actually ending in ONIC's favor, Mirko.
Yes, and now RRQ Hoshi, they might ban away Phobius as their final ban, Arashi, right here, or they might look to pick it if ONIC Esports takes away the Hayabusa. Although, I do have to say, Hayabusa, even though he dashes a lot with his quad shadow, it is very hard as a Phobius to land it on him, because again, he is just so mobile. And yes, Phobius will be the ban coming in from RRQ Hoshi, and ONIC Esports now with their first pick, Hayabusa, straight away. Don't want to see RRQ take it, and I think this might be the game where we see Albert play this Lancelot right here. We will see indeed, okay? It might be the Angel Lancelot as a first pick, just literally the counter, or they might go for maybe a Popo or a Jawhead right now. That is still open for the side of RRQ Hoshi. Maybe a hard engage like Jawhead will favor them better than Popo, because again, RRQ, they like to just go in, they like to use their aggression, so we'll just have to see what they go for. Achil, make your decision. I can't read your lips, but I hope I am right here, Eterna.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, looking at the gaming house from ONIC Esports, it seems like they're not looking great mentally. It seems like they're all quite down with the loss that they took in the previous game, but we're just gonna have to expect the best from them in game number 3, because if they do secure this win, they will win this match. But here we see RRQ Hoshi insta-locking the X-Borg and the Esmeralda, two really strong frontliners, one with really good kiting ability as an X-Borg, and of course we have a dive-in comp as well from Esmeralda, but we're gonna have to see what ONIC Esports will pick as a answer here. Seeing the two first picks here by RRQ Hoshi, but seeing a Ruby ban coming from ONIC Esports, does it mean like they might be going towards also a dive comp, Miracle?
Technically they might, or yeah, it's certainly looking like it right now as Boots gets his comfort pick and one of his favorite picks right here, Balman and the Jawhead for Keyboy. Very, very dangerous right now. Sans on this Hayabusa as well. All these three heroes are really, really scary as RRQ Hoshi will come in with their final pick. It will be the Rafaela. Okay. The Rafaela pickup for RRQ Hoshi. This X-Borg is a flex towards the technically it can flex anywhere. It can go to the jungle, it can go to the mid lane, it can also go to the gold or XP lane. So again, very good flex pick. Same thing goes for Esmeralda, which can flex to 3 lanes here. RRQ Hoshi, what are they thinking? Alright, what are they thinking right now? For the bans as well. We're gonna look at Fairstick right there. I don't know why, but okay. Arashi, tell me what is to come here for the bans for the second banning phase.
I think they might ban something with reliable long-range crowd control, because using a Rafaela in your team,
Your
exactly.
team
See,
is banned.
if having a Rafaela in your team, it's a very vulnerable hero. So if you don't make sure you take out the big threats towards a hero, it might just end horribly for them. So they do ban out the Farsa, making sure that, especially once we get into the late game, no one's actually going to be able to one-shot the Rafaela out of nowhere from God knows where, with the artillery, the fighter airstrike. Drian and Clay, we see a bit of a head-to-head here. It's quite, I would say it's quite balanced, honestly. But Drian does have the better KDA, so take from that what you will. ONIC Esports ban the Saber, and it looks like they both want to go for a dive composition, and they're both banning out like picks. So they might both be trying to commit wholly on a full-on dive without actually trying to get catches beforehand.
Yes, absolutely. And RRQ Hoshi with their final ban will most probably ban out a lockdown hero again, maybe targeting towards that gold lane. Maybe the Lunox ban will come through because again, CW very consistent with this Lunox back in season 7. So RRQ, let's just see what they have in store for ONIC Esports with the final ban right here. My guess
Maybe
is
Kagura could also be a ban.
You're right. My guess is it's definitely going to be a mage, I think.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed.
But we're gonna have to see. Oh, when will be that Eudora ban? I was thinking that ONIC Esports, because with their composition right now, they're lacking some magic damage, and if they are going in for that early game dive-in comp, maybe a Kagura would play really, really well, because we've also seen Drian play this Kagura, and we've seen the burst damage output and the capacity that a Kagura can come in with. The magic damage here on the side of ONIC Esports, but we're gonna have to see what they will choose as we're going into the last ban coming in from ONIC Esports. Not really sure where they might be banning towards, but it will be that Nathan Miracle.
Yes, the Nathan ban comes through here for the side of RRQ Hoshi, who still has yet to reveal anything, because as the Esmeralda and the X-Borg are flex picks, it is going to be very hard for ONIC Esports to try to read this. That's why they were forced to ban the Nathan, just basically predicting where these players are going to go with these heroes. But RRQ Hoshi now with the pick, what will they choose? Will they choose perhaps a mage here for Clay? Because I really want to see Clay use the mage, and it's also a good pickup if they do pick it. Again, Beatrix. I guess Clay just really likes this hero. Again, they do still need a physical damage threat here, so it is not a bad pick. I just really want to see Clay on a mage, on a Kagura or on a Luo Yi like we've seen in Season 7. He's just such a menace. But again, the Beatrix pick comes through for RRQ Hoshi. Now, ONIC Esports coming in as well. They will have to secure their mage and gold laner, or Hayabusa can go and flex to the gold lane if they want to pick a jungler, another jungler from RRQ Hoshi. Now, if they want to take the Lancelot, if they want to take the Bruno maybe, or the Granger away from RRQ, they can certainly try that right here. Just limit the heroes for RRQ Hoshi, make Albert uncomfortable on his pick. So let's just see for the final pick here, Rush.
Oh, what? Okay. So I guess this Kaja is actually coming in to probably try and deny, for the most part, any kind of assassin presence coming in from RRQ Hoshi. They probably predicted that they're gonna rely on an assassin and trying to use that to try and shut this down, especially since the Kaja has a lot of presence in the early game as well as far as picks goes. We've seen that being used to huge success in the previous games beforehand. And here, if they go for a full-on clash, I feel like ONIC Esports does have an advantage in a sense just because of the brilliance of the order and all that. And they do have a better pick potential right now as far. But as I say that, RRQ secure their own pick potential, or well, we'll have to see who this goes to. But both teams, I feel, are using composition that we are kind of unexpecting right now. Any particular thoughts here? Because there's not much to say. It's just these are really unorthodox picks, I think.
I would agree right here. Albert playing this Xborg, not something that we are used to seeing. You know, when we think of Albert, we think of high mechanical heroes like Lancelot, like Ling, like Hayabusa, and certainly I don't think about Xborg when I think about when I say Albert. But okay, we'll have to see the debut of the Xborg jungler on the hands of Albert, and also Cho on R7 on this Cho is a huge threat. All right, he's probably one of the best Cho players here, as we are gonna get straight into the game. Are you guys ready to get to the final game of the Royal Derby right here? 1-1 is the score. This is the tiebreaker. This is the final game. Write down who you guys are supporting down in the comments and support your team right here, because both of them will surely need it in this up and coming game, Eterna.
Yes, the pressure is on both ONIC Esports and RRQ to secure this next game, because whoever wins this next game will win the match. And so here, okay, we see Keyboy getting a bit aggressive here with the ejector, going on to Psycho and Clay, putting a lot of pressure as well onto both heroes at this stage, Rrq.
Absolutely, but Clay doing a lot of damage already to Sans. That is Shuriken coming in, and the Little Wanderer will be secured by Sans, actually getting that retribution at the last second to steal it away from Albert. And Albert doesn't choose to use the retribution on the Little Wanderer. Perhaps he's saving it for something else right here. Maybe he wants to get a faster clear in his jungle camp. But look at this ejector being used onto Psycho. A lot of damage has been put onto him, but Clay will be able to clear the way faster than Trian in the first minute of Rashi.
Yeah, this is a much slower game compared to the first two, and it seems like both parties are content to try and farm up and maybe try and ramp up their aggression towards the mid game, where they have a bit more levels, again, a bit more pick potential. I think the first people to pull the trigger should be the members from ONIC Esports, but we do see some telling movements from the side of RRQ coming towards the top side, but clearly Boots is used to the situations. We'll have to see which team comes up on top. It's going to come down to who has the better strategy, Rrq.
Absolutely, and Sin forced away from his own turret is going to lose he's going to lose quite a bit of XP and gold right there, as RRQ Hoshi will trade this bottom side pressure for some pressure for themselves on the side of the turtle, but Sin will be able to finally take that turret to take that minion gold right there. But RRQ once again are able to clear the mid lane faster. They will have pressure on this turtle, so ONIC Esports, we'll see what they decide to do here, Eterna.
Yes, you're completely right, as Albert has started to start that turtle. Oh, but wait, he does connect, and first blood will be secured by the side of RRQ Hoshi, Rrq.
Yeah, it was so well played by R7, waiting for the right moment to go and use the Wave of the Dragon, but Boost coming in. He's going to use the Execute to try to take the turtle, but again, the Retribution just comes in and it's going to be the target right now. It will be Psycho taken down as the last insanity. Will pick up a kill onto Boots as well. It is going to be a 2-for-1 trade, and the turtle going to the hands of RRQ Hoshi, playing it very, very well in the second minute of the game. Sans not able to do a lot of damage again against this very sustainable team on the complete opposite to the second game. Sans will not have a huge impact here on this Hayabusa. He is a burst and assassin type of hero. Against sustainable heroes, it's not gonna really work, right? The only target that he can focus right now is definitely the Beatrix, Eterna.
Yes, the Beatrix, but unfortunately the backup here coming on from Psycho will play also a really big impact, because it seems like, look, the rotation by Psycho really revolves around this Beatrix. She knows how squishy a Beatrix is, especially going against a lane like Hayabusa, and of course that Kaja with that Divine Judgment. So very good backup here on the side of RRQ Hoshi, and of course Albert being on this Xborg is extra sustain, and this is going to be really difficult for ONIC to lead, just like in game number 1 and game number 2, Rrq.
Yeah, but the falling star move being used now. Sin actually, even though he was playing so behind from the turret and he's playing weak side, he is still able to get the level lead on CW right now. And Albert going in, Drian's gonna use the divine judgment onto there. Now the whole force being used. Clay's gonna be damaged right there. He's gonna be taken down, but Albert's looking for a kill. Traded back. He-Boy will be able to flicker away from that one. San's gonna be the target right now. He still has the quad shadow to get away. As Sin has to be careful right now. It will be the kill traded. A tank, no, yeah, a mid laner for a jungler. So still favorable for the side of RRQ Hoshi. But again, this will mean that they will have a lot of pressure in this bottom side. Sin will not be able to defend this, and there will be a lot of turret gold put onto the hands of CW, already finishing his clock of destiny in the 4th minute right here, Rashi.
Right, that's gonna scale up really fast. And I think a key factor in how that fight went towards RRQ is the fact that R7 is able to pressure Boots. Again, a very experienced explainer in his own right, but R7 is able to actually pressure him down and get another pick right here, Miracle.
Yeah, R7 is just so on point, but again, Psycho is the one getting all the kills, so not a lot of gold utilized properly here from the side of RRQ Hoshi. Psycho will be able to get that 2nd kill of the game, but Eternal has been slain as well. RRQ Hoshi pushing their lead to a 500, but unfortunately for them, ONIC is able to trade it for the bottom side turret right here, Eternal.
Yes, like I said earlier, we've seen a lot of plays here coming in from ONIC, and both are well predicted, and they're really well disciplined. Oh, but ejector here goes on to Albert as Divine Judgment also connects, and unfortunately Albert will have to be taken down in the 5th minute here, Miracle.
Yeah, that was just sad to see. He got ejected, he got pulled back to the turret, and now ejector coming into Psycho, and it's gonna be a lot of gold dished out. R7 looking for the Jeet Kune Do away the dragon as well. And Psycho again taking it, and the killing spree secured. Now the shadow kill has been used onto Sin. He's all alone. It might be a kill taken away, and ONIC looking for more. CW picks up the killing spree as Sin tries to run away, going in again, but it's going to be Sin taken down by Sans, and that is not a good play from the side of RRQ Hoshi. 800 gold lead here secured by ONIC Esports, about to be a 1,000 gold lead as we enter the 6th minute of the game here, Eternal.
Yes, and it seems like they managed as well to chunk that mid tier down to half health, but okay, we have the items that are up Arashi.
Yeah, we see here that the matchup I was talking about, R7 against Boots, it does seem like R7 is itemizing more aggressively. Cho has that liberty compared to a Bauman, and so he has been able to have more pressure in these fights. But now a play coming in from ONIC right now, trying to pressure for the tower, but they might just kite back out after getting the tower right now.
Yeah, in the early game, I feel like ONIC just wave. Oh my god, the Divine Judgment Flicker comes in as Albert's going to be the target right now. He does not have the ultimate right now because he's very low, but Boy, he's just going to be bursted just like that. Play picks up the kill. Boots is next on the topping block. He's going to be the falling star move to CC him right now, but Boots is still able to run away for now. The Brilliance of the Order has been popped. Look at the sustain coming in from the side of RRQ Hoshi. No burst is able to one-shot them right now, and look at the positioning for R7. He's already waiting for Sans in that bush right now, but it feels like ONIC will not try to take this down. He will just clear the mid-side wave and go back to his jungle here. It will be another free turtle from the side of RRQ Hoshi turtle.
Yes, it was a 0-1 trade here favoring RRQ Hoshi, and with that in mind, they were able to take this other turtle, Miracle. So this is looking quite good again for RRQ Hoshi, but honestly, 7 minutes in, it feels like quite an equal situation. I mean, both teams are really showing their stuff. They are playing for objectives, and they are trading all over the map. So you can even see with the gold difference, it's not much. It hasn't even reached 1k yet. So we're just gonna have to see what will happen in the next few minutes, considering that Albert, with the hands of Psycho, being able to be really sustainable, and unfortunately this will be quite difficult for ONIC Esports to penetrate, Miracle.
Absolutely, as just now you can see the player gold brought to you by Livin by Mandiri right there. It seems RRQ Hoshi struggling a bit right now, as it is still ONIC Esports holding the gold lead and also the objective lead. So far, I think ONIC Esports have been able to out-macro RRQ in the early game. This is also what happened in the second game and also in their first game against GeekFam. GeekFam was absolutely controlling the map, but in the end, RRQ Hoshi finds a good fight. Now, look at this combo fight, but last insanity in the combo! Go Albert! Goes in for a kill, but Sin's gonna be bursted down instantly. Boots trying to run away, and there's gonna be a pick for a pick. Now R7 goes in with the Wave Dragon, able to get that kill, but the Divine Judgment comes in, and Albert bursting them down. CW is going to be the target, but R7 is not able to get close, and this might be just a 3-for-2 trade for the side of ONIC Esports, RRQ, not able to get more than that, and they will be forced to back away with 2 members very, very low, Eterna.
Yes, you're completely right. But fortunately for RRQ Hoshi, their jungler does not go down. And in comparison, Sans did have to go out really, really early in that team fight. And it seems like his impact on the game as of right now isn't too highlighting, you know what I mean? But here we see the next Lord will spawn in under 10 seconds as we're going into minute number 9, Mirko.
Yes, and now it is going to be the Lord spawn. This is the first Lord again, alright? First Lord coming up for both of the teams ready. Neutral objective right here. And if we take a look at the trends, ONIC Esports has been the one to take the first Lord every single game so far. So maybe RRQ Hoshi can break this trend and get it for themselves right now with a steal. Or will ONIC Esports just get it right here? I think both of the teams know that they need to rely on team fights to get this going, because in the end, I think everyone is very, very equal right now. Only 1,000 goldies for the side of ONIC Esports.
Right, but we can see CW having a Clock of Destiny and Lightning Truncheon combo, the classic, and also Holy Crystal though. So if the squishy backline members of RRQ Hoshi isn't careful, this fight can go, the next fights can go quite south for the side of RRQ here. Now only, clearly, I think the next fight is gonna go down to who gets the pick first, and here R7 gets taken out, so unfortunately he won't be able to make the pick for his team. Unfortunately, and here, oh, the play almost goes in. Rrq, what's going on?
Yeah, look at that. He tried to get something there, but unfortunately RRQ just used that Holy Baptism so well and is able to just disengage out the fight and get a kill on the board right there. RRQ Hoshi, even though they lost their XP laner, are still able to stay in this Lord pit right here to try to contest, but it looks like Boots has started it. Look at the damage coming in, 3,000 damage onto that Lord already. As Rian goes in with the Divine Judgment onto Albert. Albert's gonna be stopped. Oh my god. Albert's gonna get bursted down as Sin goes in for the falling star. Boots! The double kill picked up by CW. Is going for more. Boots gets another kill. That's gonna be a disaster for the side of RRQ Hoshi. Sin is gonna be next to the chopping block, but R7 is trying to save him, and this is going to be ONIC Esports with a 1-for-2 trade. They will look towards this this Lord, sorry, and this is going to be a huge win for the side of ONIC Esports. If R7 somehow miraculously can steal this, it might be a turnaround. Sin is waiting. The falling star moon is there, but R7 just gets bursted around. A shadow kill will finish him off. Sin trying to go in, but Sans reads the situation so well, and a double kill picked up here for Sans. A 2,000 gold lead about to be a 3,000, and that is the Lord taken by Sans. My god, Eternal.
Yes, what a play there by ONIC Sans. He was able to take a double kill and the Lord and outplaying 2 members from RRQ Hoshi. So this is not looking good again for the side of RRQ Hoshi. It seems like ONIC Esports is dominating and has been dominating from the first game to the second game and the third game. And they are really showing a step up in their performance in this season as ONIC goes again, taking another objective. And it's just, they're dominating all across the map, Mirko.
Surely they are dominating entirely here, and the damage dealt, as you can see right there, Sans with 35,000 going in against 4 members. There's just no pick potential for RRQ that Sans can do all that freely without getting damaged, without getting punished whatsoever here, Eterna.
Yeah, they're gonna have to think really careful in the next few seconds because the Lord will march on the top lane, and this is gonna be a defining moment for RRQ. Can they turn this around? Can they get the benefit? Or will ONIC use this to their advantage and continue the space and the pressure that they have already set for themselves, Mirko?
Yeah, RRQ defending really well there, and there's going to be a lot of high ground damage and high ground potential from Clay on this Beatrix. Is able to clear every single wave with no problem whatsoever. It's going to be R7 as well on the bottom side clearing this, but it will take a little bit of health from the inhibitor, so R7 just doing the best he can defending this base. Brion is waiting there with the Divine Judgment. He can keep on going here, but Albert and Psycho manages to sniff him out there in the bush, and RRQ will be able to secure their purple buff. For now, R7 looking for a pick. The way the second has been used, going to get bursted down just like that, and that's going to be a good pick for the side of RRQ. Now Sans in the midst of everything still able to use the quad shadow to go away, and Boots in the top side. It may be a lot of XP lost right there, but Sin will manage to catch the wave there in the top side right now, Eterna.
Yes, it seems like they are trying to create more space for the side of RRQ Hoshi, but this is something that we don't want to see again from ONIC Esports. We are going into the 13th minute, almost the 15th minute, and you know when we get to that point, RRQ Hoshi will have a higher damage output, especially with Beatrix and Zin on their team. But on that side of the map, Rrq gets picked off straight away, and Sans also in a really, really tough spot. He has to go down first, Mirko.
This is deja vu, guys. ONIC Esports 4,000 gold lead, and now down to a 2,000 gold lead with 2 members down. This is literally what happened in the last game. All right, RRQ getting the momentum back in the middle game. Oh my God, they're gonna get 2 turrets as well. This is incredible for RRQ. They're sieging the base very, very well, and it will be a second turret taken down as well. RRQ are able to just pressure everywhere on the map, even though they didn't get anything in the first few minutes of the game. They were untouched. The base was untouched, and now it went from a 4,000 gold lead to a 700, now a 500 only for ONIC Esports, Arashi.
Right, and that's because, again, objectives are always very important. But, ooh, the revenge can come from Drian. R7 one-shot Drian earlier, and Drian now one-shots R7 in exchange. And there's a bit more emphasis here just because once that Lord is up, R7 will only be alive for about 5 seconds. So ONIC Esports does have the pick potential, and they might take this chance to actually have some more control and get a pick before R7 responds, Mirko.
Yeah, Solid Force being used. Psycho's gonna get ejected all the way to his team as the Immortality has been popped. It's gonna be an unstoppable pickup for the side of Boost, but now Clay using a Flicker is gonna be taken down as well. This is a blunder for RRQ Hoshi as the last Insanity was used to run away. ONIC Esports now with 8 seconds on the clock for Lord. They will be able to finish this off, an enhanced Lord at that, guys. It will most probably be RRQ Hoshi losing all 3 inhibitor turrets in this play right here. But Eterna, tell me what's up in this Lord.
Yes, it seems like ONIC Esports will take this Lord without a doubt, and especially RRQ Hoshi just seems to try to zone out or just trying to clear their waves right now because it isn't looking good for RRQ Hoshi, and they know if they do try to contest this Lord, they might lose all members of their team, and that just will be a one stomp here from the side of ONIC Esports, especially with that Lord coming. So RRQ Hoshi, they need to be able to utilize their damage that is coming because we're already in minute number 16, and hopefully most of their items have been bought on the side of RRQ Hoshi, so we can expect a lot of damage and a power spike. But as I was saying, Arashi, take it away.
Yep. So again, it's coming to that late game where everyone has full builds, but ONIC does have a bit of an advantage, especially on CW. This is a full build Lunox with a huge one-shot potential. If they do go for a widespread combo-based team fight, I think ONIC has a very good chance of just nuking the majority of the members of RRQ Hoshi. And they do also have the pick advantage with Keyboy, with Drian on the Kaija and the Jawhead, so they have more options to work with there. Aside from an RRQ can only rely on R7 for the pick, and it looks like the play is being made here, Mirko.
Yeah, Albert moving very, very well there to avoid the ejection, but Sin now goes in with a falling star mode all the way to Boots. He's going to get taken low to half HP, but again, it is the inhibitor turret taken down to the mid lane. It will be the bottom lane turret saved by RRQ Hoshi, and it turns out they're actually able to defend that very, very well. Only 1 inhibitor turret taken down. I thought it will at least be 2, but now RRQ Hoshi looking for a fight after seeing that they're going to look for a retreat here, and 4,000 gold lead for the side of ONIC Esports. Again, not that much considering that RRQ is able to turn and turn and turn this gold lead over and over, but it looks like R7 will finally use his luck up right now. The ejector comes in and Divine Judgment as well, but that's 3 ultimates used. This might be a good chance for RRQ Hoshi to look for a team fight here. It's gonna be Psycho picked off. Psycho still able to live right there, and it's gonna be Sin trying to look for a kill onto Sans, but unfortunately he is just so far from Sans, and Sans is still able to use the Quad Shadow to get away. Clay's gonna be target right now as Albert is in the backside. Look at the damage coming in. Sin gets slain, and Clay will certainly be next. A double kill for Sans. CW finishes Albert off, and this is going to be ONIC Esports winning the Royal Derby. Boots will finally claim the game, but Albert somehow still surviving in this moment. Will he be able to replicate the success in MPL Season 6, defending in a 1v4 situation? Shadow Kill has been used. CW is going to go in, and Albert will not. Unfortunately, he'll be taken down. Wipe out, and the Royal Derby will be won by ONIC Esports here in the second week of MPL Season 8. Well played by ONIC Esports, controlling the tempo of the game from the get-go all the way to the end. And even though RRQ Hoshi had a lot of good moments, it just fell flat, and ONIC, with the more consistent plays, were able to end the game on a very high note right there, Arash.
Right. So, this is a very close game, and I think it just shows the presence of mind again from ONIC, knowing exactly when they have an advantage. I did mention earlier, before the fight even breaks out, how they might just take the advantage and know, they have a window to make plays because the death timers from RRQ is a bit long, and that's exactly what they did. And I think that's what eventually just got them the win, knowing that once they caught one person, the rest is just, they can just chase the rest bit by bit. But I think the game all began in the early game with the RRQ early pressure advantage, and then there were some mind games going in from both. Like when the rotation going on, RRQ tried to maybe hide in the jungle. They tried to hide in the jungle bush in the middle and try and pick off members from ONIC on the